Hey guys, welcome to This Is Not Date podcast. I'm Keith.
I'm Jade.
And I'm Callison.
This week, a lot happened. Specifically, let me tell you what happened. Zac went on a one-on-one date with Tayshia. Wedding dresses involved. The next thing that happened, the guys went on a group date. Lots of art was involved. And then we had Eazy, went on a one-on-one date. A lot of scary things were involved. And then lastly, we had a kind of a 2-on-1 kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Noah
and that's
Bennett.
kind of where it ended. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, so we start out with JoJo coming to visit Tayshia, which is what we thought was happening.
Yeah.
And then she just like gives her advice about being the Bachelorette. And I think Tayshia kind of needed that because she's surrounded by a bunch of men. She doesn't, and like no friends, I guess.
Right, and Tayshia was
to
concerned
talk
that
to.
she's like, there's just so much great guys. And
She doesn't know how to like
discern.
individualize each
Yeah.
relationship. She's kind of like combining them all. But then Chris comes to see the guys.
He knocks on the door.
Did he knock or did he not?
knock.
Really?
I heard a knock.
This thing's starting to work, and it's going to start getting a little real coming up.
Oh, I was trying to like, after it already played, I couldn't go back. So I was like, oh, I wonder if he knocked or not.
He knocked.
Okay.
That was the first thing I was waiting for the knock.
He took the criticism.
And he announces that there's going to be 3 dates this week, 2 group dates.
You know what's weird? Every time Chris talks, I never actually pay attention to what he says.
That's true.
Like you said, like what you just said right now,
one group
I did
date.
not hear because I don't think
Really?
I was listening to anything
He said like there's going to be 3 dates, 2 one-on-one,
2 one-on-ones and
and
one group date.
yeah, one
Yeah.
group date. That's what it was.
Okay.
And then he brings in JoJo and says that he's taking his son to college and she'll be stepping in. And
dad.
she is going to be the new host for the time being.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy. And now I am officially here for JoJo.
Did you know that was going to happen beforehand? Or
I saw
heard
like
rumors.
like you put it
yeah.
into like the universe?
Oh, because
because we talked about JoJo a few episodes ago
yeah,
about how great she was.
I love her. She's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she still is trying to get comfortable into her role.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think maybe in the future episodes we'll see her a little bit higher energy, more into
she doesn't
her
know
role.
anything about what's
No,
going
she's
on.
just kinda thrown in there.
She's doing
Yeah.
pretty good for
Yeah.
the limited knowledge she has.
But JoJo's a former Bachelorette. She has past experience as a host. Her and her fiance, Jordan Rogers, were hosts for a TV show called Fittest Couples, Battle of the Fittest Couples.
I can see
And
that.
how reoccurring were they on Listen to Your Heart?
They were just on that one episode.
Okay.
One episode, yeah. They did a...
They're like judges,
They were
right?
a judge, yeah. And then they also had their own TV show called Cash Pad, which is like they were flipping houses and other spaces. They did a storage unit, or no, a shipping container. And they flipped it into an Airbnb. And so that's like what it was.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
And so after JoJo, we learned that Zac gets the one-on-one date. And what is this date about?
Well, he and her go and I guess they meet up with a photographer and everything's set up for them to have this wedding-esque photo shoot. So
Yeah,
like,
he's the photographer, but his title is creative director.
Yeah, I don't
Fancy.
think he was a real photographer because did you see those photos? They were terrible.
Well, hold on.
So bad.
They
I
looked
don't
like they
think
were
the
taken
photos.
with an iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't.
At,
they were using
5.
some really funky filter.
But the thing is, why in the world would you pay like a photographer of a high-end caliber, which he seems like to be, the way he acts and stuff like that, if you're not going to get some cool pictures to actually show in the show? Like, what else are you going to do with those photos,
Yeah.
you know?
I don't know.
Well, if they end up together, then they have those photos they can use.
That's true.
Because I'm sure at these like bachelorette weddings that are like hosted by the show, they don't have much time to do the whole like photo shoot thing. So they're just getting that photo shoot done early. Or maybe this is because they've both been married before and they want to get new memories
Yeah.
that are like different memories in a wedding dress or in a suit.
It was interesting because we know that she must have, she said, I thought it was a fun idea at first, but then she was immediately so nervous about the whole thing. You could tell it in her face. He could tell it, and just how she acted initially, and then kind of carrying on throughout the date. I just thought that was interesting that she picked it, and yeah, it was so hard for her. I mean, I understand why, But I thought they had a cute little shoot. What did you think about their dynamic?
Well, Tayshia said that she had an initial connection with him, and it was weird for her because he's so much older, and it's not like the guy that she would typically go for.
Yeah.
She usually goes for like a younger guy.
Yeah.
And so it kind of like throws her off because she's like, why do I feel this way about this man?
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to be like a good supporting role for her when she's like seemed like almost down with the wedding dressing. So he was good at kind of lifting her back up in that sense. As for the rest of the dynamic, I don't have much other context to go off of.
But I think this whole date was sponsored by the Black Tux.
Oh, I saw that.
Pretty sure you're right there, Jade.
Yeah.
Good insight.
They look like nice tux. I Googled them and I looked at their website, but they wanted my email to
It worked.
move forward.
Wow, so you
It
Googled
works.
them. You did exactly what they hoped you would do.
Well, my boyfriend needs a black tux. So I was looking.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I didn't fall for their wanting my email. I was like, okay, I'm not putting my email.
I know this trick.
But now I know what they are.
They sell tuxes?
It's like a rental kind of thing.
Oh, they're rental tuxes?
I think it's a
They do.
rental.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about Zach's outfit choices in this wedding photo shoot. So he had I guess you said the white tux.
Yes.
And then he also had this, ended up going to some weird, strange end spectrums of suits, which they almost looked like different, like almost, I don't know, non-traditional, traditional, maybe other countries kind of suits that I'd never seen before. They had like kind of weird
Exotic?
patterns. Exotic's a great word.
That is the exact word.
Yeah, but I think the dynamic that they had, in my opinion, was really great throughout the photo shoot. He surprised me because I was really not a Zac fan, and it might have a lot to do with his looks, as you guys probably heard me talk about former episodes. It just bothers me, something about it. But his personality seems really good. I was surprised whenever it it was actually before the date itself. He was saying how he's nervous because he's going to have to open up about the fact that his life was not, quite straight and narrow. And then we learn a little bit more about that later, of course. But yeah, we definitely see many, many different sides of Zac, which I liked.
I think it was interesting how when Tayshia first started talking to other episode to Ivan about her being divorced, it seemed like a bigger deal to her at that point.
Yeah.
But like now when she's talking to Zac, it's like
everybody's
it
divorced.
was just like, yeah, I used to be married, and then Zac was like, oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
They know they
Same. Been there, done that.
That's true, though. And
Everything's just gotten so much more casual.
the first time was, the hardest, I think, for her to be like,
Opening
divorced,
up.
and then everyone's like, yeah, me
So
too.
is this the second guy that has said that he's been married before? I think there was another guy,
There, I
but
think
I
so.
can't
I'm
remember
sure.
who it was.
Oh, yeah, no,
Bennett.
it was Bennett who was
Bennett.
not married but engaged, and he was like,
Yeah.
"This is really hard for me to talk about."
Yeah.
Trying to think that he's
Stupid
something
Bennett.
special. Oh gosh,
I really don't like him
we'll
in
get
this
into
episode.
Bennett later.
Yeah, I got some crap on Bennett. Okay, so what else happened on that date?
Well, Zac kind of opened up a little bit about himself.
Yeah.
He had a very
Do you remember what it was?
like he had a brain tumor. He went, which I don't know how that led into.
Well, was
it brain tumor and then
it started with brain tumor. He was in college or something
Yeah.
like that, and then
And he changed his life.
with the brain tumor. He got into a bunch of like the painkillers for the brain tumor,
That's
which I think
Drugs,
led him
alcohol.
which may or may not have been what led him to drugs and parties and whatnot at the college scene.
Yeah.
Which ended up leaving him to go into rehab.
Well,
or
he went to
DUI.
jail. He got a DUI, and then he was
His
at
wife
the bank, and the bank teller called his dad, and he said that was like the turning point for him. And he says that bank teller he thinks that she was like
his angel.
his angel.
So yeah,
But
rehab
before
twice.
that,
Saved his life.
His wife left him as well.
Right, yeah.
So that was good insight. The fact that it wasn't her fault. And
It was
don't know,
just his own problems.
his own demons that he had to fight and get
Yeah.
over and get to the point where he's at now. And it was kind of shocking that he went through all that he did to get to that place. There are some red flags with it. You wonder if some of those things are going to come up later on in their relationship. So
Yeah.
it's a tricky thing.
Well,
Yeah.
he got the rose,
He did. He got the rose.
and they went on to a Ferris wheel.
Oh, that was sweet. Yeah.
Um,
And then we also found out that Eazy has a one around that time too. So I was excited for Eazy to get the one-on-one, and then they had the rest of the date after that.
The guys were like sitting around talking like,
Yeah.
oh, and then Noah's like, I really want to have the one-on-one. Like, that would be,
all the guys were like,
and
shut
then Bennett's like, I would feel really bad for Tayshia if she had to sit through a one-on-one with Noah.
If poor Tayshia has to spend a one-on-one with Noah, I'm just really sad for her that she has to have the worst night of her life.
He's such a brat. He's actually such a pretentious brat. Oh, anyways, so they have a really sweet, like you said, Ferris wheel moment.
Yeah, where did they get a theme park at this resort?
I have no idea.
Where did that come from?
I think it's just a Ferris wheel.
Like I felt like there was like a little.
How do you import a Ferris wheel?
Okay, interesting.
I didn't look too far into it. I don't know.
Like the games and stuff that they have at fairs.
So we find out that Eazy gets the one-on-one date. Mm-hmm. But what happens next is we have the group date with all the guys.
Date, yes.
So question is, what is a group date and who was on it?
There were quite a few people on this group date. They just left out the 2 that had the one-on-one.
Yeah, so it was Noah, Bennett, Ben, Blake, Damar, Ivan, Riley, and Brendan.
Okay, so it was all of them.
Yeah, all those people.
And it was regarding, well, they walk in, and as soon as they walk in, it's just two.
The theme was express yourself.
Yes, that's right. It was express yourself. But then there are 2 naked people expressing themselves, holding on to each other in this romantic naked moment as they walked in.
Blake walked in. He's like, I have been naked 3 times in this,
if I was on the group date, I walk in and I just walk right back out with a smile on my face.
I'm out.
Like, no,
I'm not doing this.
I'm good. That said, I have actually drawn naked people. I did it like young. I don't know how I got into that, but I went to a
How was the
camp.
experience?
It was different. It was a lady. I was like, what? Oh, look at you.
She was just laying there? That's so weird.
I just felt so awkward drawing her. But anyway, so that's what they did. That was the first exercise that they did. And no one could draw.
Yeah, I think they were doing like charcoal at that point.
Yeah, it was charcoal or pencil or something.
Yeah,
I think there was charcoal
it's either
involved
they
for
couldn't
sure.
draw or they only gave them like 5 minutes to draw.
That's true.
They're like, and 5 minutes, go.
Yeah. Which would have been dumb, because what's the point of having 5 minutes for...
like, here you go.
Oh, that's not true. Artists can do that. But yeah, no one could really draw. They were all like stick figures and like cartoony faces, and it was, I don't know. It was interesting. Whose picture did you like the best? Do you remember?
From that one, I have no idea. From the charcoal
They all
part
kind of
of it.
looked a lot.
Yeah.
They all looked very similar.
No one was being very creative in that one.
No one stood out.
Was it the clay next, or was it a different thing
I
next?
believe it was the
Well,
clay.
wait,
yes.
let's back up just a couple of seconds. So when they first walked in, they had to sit at those tables. So
That was a big
Noah goes
moment.
to sit down next to Tayshia,
Yep.
and Bennett's like, excuse me, that's my seat.
I'm supposed to be here, man. Sorry.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. I'm really not with you.
And is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
That was the stupidest
And-
thing.
No one doesn't believe him. But then Bennett's like, no, I'm serious.
No,
Like, that's
really.
actually my seat.
Yeah.
So,
So childish.
So childish. Like,
moral
who
of the
does he
story, you
think
can't
he
trust
is?
anything Bennett says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Tayshia kind of is starting to be like, okay, there's something going on. That was like the first hint, and then it kind of like goes throughout the date. Like they just start throwing jabs at each other.
A quick across the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That was, you could just tell in
Embarrassing.
her face, she's like done with it. She's like, what
Yeah,
is
I always
this?
wish Noah would just ignore everything, but
I know.
and make
But-
him look much better.
God, Bennett, he was horrible this episode. So yeah, that was a good point. I'm glad
yeah.
you
Did
mentioned
they
that.
did they have to stand up and talk about the their nude art painting?
I don't recall.
Oh
Not-
no, they did. They did.
They did? They
Yeah, now
explained to
that
the
I think
group?
about
Oh
it.
yes,
yeah.
they did.
What was their explanations?
They weren't very-
So I just thought like everyone's was pretty normal, but Bennett kind of like he had to go above and beyond the expectation for this date.
Oh, he
for
said
this
something
portion of
about
the date.
somebody in the background, and it was referring to Noah, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. It was maybe.
I'm pretty
It
sure
was definitely a jab.
I started initially with the couple, and then I added a little bit of the background noise just to note that there is, always some drama going on around.
Yeah, it was.
But
It was like,
he was talking like this is what he does, like explaining art and talking about art as like
everything is what he does when it's
yeah,
Bennett.
and
It's like he's a pro at everything.
You can't be good at everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you
but
don't have
he
to
thinks
act
he
like
is.
that.
Emotional intelligence, my butt.
Yeah.
And so after that, as you said, was the clay molding.
I think so, yeah. They just,
Blindfolded.
Blindfolded clay mold.
yeah, it's the blindfolded part. Yeah.
And Bennett kisses Tayshia while everyone.
Yeah.
Was
Which was-
blindfolded.
Tayshia doesn't ask questions.
That was
she's
so
like,
awkward. I
okay.
would have been like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I mean,
Just like
it's
touch his
similar to
face
what
to
she's
say.
asked for that she wants, but at the same time, yeah, it's just.
Smears the
It was
clay on
Bennett.
his face.
And so everyone made their little piece. Whose was your favorite of all the pieces? You remember?
I don't really
Or
think I have
any
a-
stand out to you that you're like,
Oh,
I mean, Blake's was blurred out, so I couldn't see his.
yeah.
but we all know what it was.
So they were all
That was
talking like.
hilarious.
Apparently, that's all he talks about.
Yeah, I know. Can
Is,
you
like,
imagine? I
being
don't see
sexual.
him doing. Maybe he's trying to overcompensate, talking about it too much. Because he's like, "Oh, I'm a man. I'm a man." Like,
Or maybe he's just trying to think of things that are relatable to other guys, and that's all he can think of.
yeah, like we like sex, right? Like, we can talk about sex and members.
Nothing else very exciting. What was Bennett's? No, wasn't his more jabs with his clay piece?
Oh,
It was like a little circle or
it
something.
wasn't jab so much as it was a brag fest. It was just all
That was
about
a self-portrait, I think.
What was the one with his clay then?
the clay. No, the clay was all the bragging.
Tayshia and myself, our New York home, our Hamptons, Long Island home, our California home.
No,
On the
called him
clay
out
that-
on it and said, like, how do you spell privileged?
Oh, yeah. But
And-
which is the complete opposite of what Bennett is.
Yeah, apparently.
Just the complete opposite. Because and that's what he said. He's like, I didn't grow up. It's so funny that you would say that, Noah, little Noah.
He said little Noah. Oh my
all
gosh.
the time. And he said, my upbringing was far from privilege, just so you know. So maybe there is a little bit more to Bennett, but at the same time, I really hate the guy now. he's the worst. And so the last, was it? I think it was the last thing. Was the last thing with the frame and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Mhm.
So that
The
was kind of
self-port-
like a.
the self-portrait.
So Brendan, we started out with Brendan. He had the picture frame, which
Yep.
is super cute. He did like a whole speech about it and like why he chose to do that.
My first impressions was no one knows how to draw themselves in a self-portrait.
yeah.
I like that. The idea though, like that expressionist,
Like, was someone-
abstract take on it. I think that was cool.
Like, did someone tell them like
think
this
they
isn't
did.
this isn't actually about your face? It's more
Yeah.
about like your inner feelings
They
because
must have.
like
no one. Drew
the first thing
themselves.
I would have done was just started drawing
just like
my
a
face.
stick figure of you, like, hey, it's Keith.
Self-portrait.
No, it got me thinking like, what would my self portrait look like? Did it make you guys think that too?
No.
No, not at all. I'm not that deep. I was thinking about drawing myself.
This is a banana. It represents me eating a banana.
And just guacamole on toast.
This is a goat. I once upon a time had a goat. This is a maple tree. I also like maple syrup, and I used to make my own maple syrup.
I am Keith.
Deepness.
Yeah.
How deep am I?
And then, so after Brendan,
Then
who else?
Bennett,
showed-
that's where Bennett showed his plate.
his cross stitching heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like a plate, so I just wrote Bennett
Kinda
made a
looked like a
plate.
Yes.
Doesn't
The
have
plates.
privilege.
No privileges.
Yeah. Not at all.
Ivan really opened up with his and
that was-
included
yeah.
Tayshia
That was sweet.
to put the puzzle piece
Mm-hmm.
on it. Blake is patient and wants to have a loving family that he never had because he had a broken family, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So Riley daydreams about a cozy house and quality time with his family. He kind of lost me towards the end there, but his was sweet. Tayshia felt emotional about it.
Yeah.
And then Ben has feelings, but he doesn't know how to talk about them, I guess.
So he just got naked. Oh my gosh.
He takes all his clothes off and he's in a robe. I'm
This is
having
me.
flashbacks
This is
to
me
Bennett.
being
But
vulnerable.
after hearing a story about how he had lost, I think it was like 70 pounds around the age of 15 because he was trying to fit in. He had the bulimia for 10 years.
yeah, that's his story.
But that's
Doesn't
probably
that come
why
up at the
he chose
cocktail
to do
party,
that.
or did that come up at the cocktail party or during the self-portrait?
I think
Cocktail
no,
party.
it definitely came up later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But I think that for someone who's lost that much and had body image issues, to just be like, here I am, this is exactly as I am, like you can have all that.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird flex though because he doesn't.
He actually looks
has a
amazing.
good body.
Yeah.
So
Like,
it's like-
and then she goes off immediately after.
Yeah.
He
Well,
shows.
I think he hugs her first,
Yeah.
and then she goes off.
Runs off and cries.
oh,
Naked hug and then
That
runs.
must have been confusing for him. And she's just emotional because of all the, just the amount of that each and every guy opened up to her. Because everyone had a very, very deep story and an emotional story, and they were all very raw and vulnerable. And
Yeah,
I
but
think it was a lot for her.
they were super raw and vulnerable, but under the impression that the most raw and vulnerable person will get the rose or the
That's
one-on-one
true.
time.
Yeah.
But
They all
she's
did
just
so
so
good.
touched that they're all going to go to the party.
Yeah.
They're like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
I got naked for you. I thought that was going to be the winning bet.
Yeah.
So they all have that group date cocktail party. Then we found out that Ben had the bulimia and the eating disorder. Well, one and the same.
Ben's really into her.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I
and
really
I think
do like
she's
Ben.
really into him too.
He's a sweetie.
And I could really see them together. They
Me
seem
too.
sweet.
Me too. And then I think she first addresses that Bennett and Noah have something going on. And so that's like the beginning of the end, really, of this episode.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, yeah. And Bennett he just talks down to everyone. And the fact that he doesn't realize he's talking down, that he has beef with anyone is just, it's just such an indication of how, like, up in the clouds he is.
Yeah, I didn't
And
really
not
realize
emotionally intelligent.
that Bennett was talking down to other people until like Spencer had his little bit
Oh,
where
yeah,
he
he's
actually
like,
talked
he
on
does it to
camera.
everybody,
And
yeah.
he like, yeah, that's how Bennett is. So it would be nice if some of these guys would, like you kind of want one of the other guys to say like, hey, yeah, Bennett actually talks down to Noah, but at the same time, that's like Bachelor 101 things not to do.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
talk down. It's always like, there's always someone or two people that just don't get along. It's
There has
like
to be.
every season.
Yeah. In every group.
It's like they go out of their way to find like people that have different, like maybe
push people's
non-compatible zodiac signs or
Yeah,
something.
maybe.
On the application, there's probably like a,
What's your sign?
What's your
What
sign?
time of day were you born?
what's your rising and what is all falling and something else.
Your Myers-Briggs as well.
Oh yeah,
Is that
do the
another
one?
little
Disc profile.
the psychology test.
Yeah, but so Bennett, it like cuts to Bennett when he's saying another line about, I'm not on the babysitter, I'm on the Bachelorette.
Yeah, he likes that
I'm
line.
like, how can you not realize that you're being a dick? Like,
Yeah.
how do you
I
not
didn't
catch
realize
this?
there was conflict because this is
I
how I
don't know
act
what's
with
going
literally
on. I don't
everyone.
have beef.
He
Yeah.
probably
This
does, too.
isn't. There's no conflict. This is just my
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, really. Oh my gosh, and getting into later with the gift and all that
Like
stuff.
I don't even understand. Like you can't. There's no such thing as arguing with Bennett and winning because he doesn't know he's in an argument. So there's no way you can
Yeah,
win.
yeah, exactly. He's somewhere else.
There's no
all
way
the
you can
time.
win an argument if he doesn't know he's in an argument.
Yeah. Okay, so after the little cocktail and they address Noah and Bennett's
Mm-hmm.
beef, it cuts to Eazy
Ooh,
and Tayshia's
what a
one-on-one
fun date.
Yeah.
That was fun.
He was getting ready for it, and he's talking about like how he feels like he's known her forever.
Good
and,
chemistry.
I
Yeah.
really fell in love with Eazy in this in this episode.
Yeah, me
on
too.
this date.
And I was really surprised how it ended. But Tayshia was saying like before the date that she loves being around him and she loves his energy and she loves their compatibility, but the romantic part isn't there yet for her. But it's there for him apparently, which we find out. But
yeah.
he would be the perfect like guy to be in the friend zone essentially.
yeah, he got friend zone.
So
for
the
sure.
problem is like he tried to get himself out of the friend zone, which scared Tayshia. And so it's just like, no, friend zone only or leave.
That was where I had you stop trying to stay in your lane.
Stay in your
Yeah.
lane.
So the haunted date, and Jay and I were wondering whether or not, I mean, maybe there is some history behind it. Obviously, it was like
Whether or not it was actually
set
true
up.
or not.
It was definitely set up because they couldn't have had that many jump
There's
scares
like a
and things.
pirate.
What was the actual like story? I kind of forget.
There were multiple stories. It was like crying. Well, there was a doll. I think that was the first one.
Well, I don't believe this place is probably very new, so I wouldn't doubt if there's actually
Yeah.
any weird
Some
sketchy stuff that's
history.
actually happened in this
Yeah.
place.
Be interesting to look
It
that
was
up.
like a wife of someone that owned the land, and she was pregnant, and the baby and her died at childbirth.
Yes, that's
I just
right.
assume that every scary story is just true.
Yeah, I believe it immediately.
That sounds like
kinda
very. That thing
wasn't
that,
it kind of scary, like watching it?
like in like the night vision and like the jump scares.
Yeah.
No, but
Not relatable.
I don't think
but
I like
I would.
scary
I know
stuff.
if I was in real life, I'd definitely be like on edge the entire time.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we went to a haunted house
Yeah.
recently, me and Keith, which was good, but very short.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so they had that, and Eazy was so cute with his whole like, oh shoot, like all his comments and her, I thought they had a great chemistry there, and I apparently was so wrong because
Yeah.
once he opened up at that 101,
Her face just went.
Yeah.
he
felt so
gave her
uncomfortable.
everything she had asked for. And yet it wasn't enough for her at that moment. And I think she believed that other relationships had developed further. And she just said, I can't give you this rose. And he was shocked. We were all shocked.
Yeah.
Because I think I fell in love with him then. And I would have been like, oh, yeah, I definitely can see, that happen. I don't know how she did that. But there must have been something she saw in him or didn't see in him. And she made the bold choice to not give him that 101 rose and send him home.
Yeah, or she just thought her other options were stronger choices for
Maybe.
her.
Yeah.
Didn't you think it like happened so abruptly? Like she was like, okay,
It was so
you need to
abrupt,
leave.
yes.
And then he just left. It was like there was no like
Yeah, I think.
comments between them. Like, why are you
Oh,
sending
like,
me
oh,
home?
but like, why?
Yeah, it was just like,
kinda thing.
oh, okay, see ya.
Oh,
I feel
that's
like he
too
could
bad.
be
Kind of confused,
one
but
of
like,
the next-
whatever.
Yeah.
Bachelors.
Was he crying or was he not? I couldn't
Probably,
tell.
but he's like one of the first people that actually seen like people talking in the car. He actually said
Oh,
something.
yeah.
He had,
Oh, yeah,
he
that's
actually
true.
had his own
Yeah,
like
we were wondering
piece in the
about
car.
that.
Yeah,
The
first time
last
I've
few
actually hearing people
episodes.
talk.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think he's going to be the next Bachelor? Or
No, but he's
No?
definitely gonna be in Paradise.
Yeah, I can
Oh
see
yeah,
Paradise.
definitely.
I would love to have him as a Bachelor. He's so great. He's such a fun personality, and
Mm-hmm.
he did deserve that. But hopefully on to the next better thing for him. And so after all the heartbreak and the sad, easy goodbye, JoJo comes to address the group, and then kind of says that Tayshia wants to address the whole Bennett and Noah situation. So she's canceling the group cocktail party and kind of turning it into a
Well, she's not canceling it. She's just doing the
2-in-1.
the 2-on-1
Yeah.
first. But the first thing Bennett says was, "I didn't realize we had conflict."
again.
And
What?
he's like, I can't wait to
I'm
see
so
Tayshia.
shocked.
I cannot
Noah?
phase at all.
There's a thing.
I don't have anything against Noah.
I'm, kind of equally as perplexed as Tayshia to some degree.
Yeah, at this point, I was like, okay, Bennett's definitely the villain of
He's
this
such a
season.
little
Like,
bully.
Yeah.
I do not like that about him.
And then it's just a personality trait that he has.
Yeah, but it's like his whole personality.
He doesn't even know it.
Encompassed everything. And which is crazy, he doesn't even know it. We're all seeing this, and then he pulls out. So they all go to this, the impromptu cocktail party with the two of them and the one of her, and brings the gift.
It starts out like nice. He's like, Bennett says like, I just really want to like mend things between
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
kinda
you think
thing.
that it's gonna be
And
turning
so
over to
he's
leave.
like, you think he's being empathetic, and
Yeah.
the next thing you know, he takes out this very sarcastic.
Got something for you.
It started out like sweet, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a fun little gift to like
But what a weird
Make
thing to
some
do.
peace.
What a weird thing to do.
very weird. First it was the
Like 3 different gifts in one. And
He's got the handkerchief.
The handkerchief.
And then what was
red,
the second
red
thing?
bandana was for
Yep.
because of their backgrounds. Or
yeah,
and the fact that they don't want bad
red
blood.
for no bad blood,
Yeah.
and it meant something else. I can't remember.
And then the
'Cause he's
mustache socks.
No, because it was also for because he was born and raised in a certain state.
Yeah,
that was very
they were
country
both
or
born and
something
raised
like
and
that.
kinda on the
It was like
range.
Ohio or something.
They've got
I
a
don't know.
background of that. And the next thing was those socks that have mustaches on them.
Because he doesn't
that
want
he
to
had
ever wear a
pre-worn.
mustache again.
Oh, but he washed them.
Yeah, but he
said.
washed them. So
Yeah.
they're kind of new.
And then for some reason,
Well, he said, but then he kind of turned it and he was like, "Yeah, but mustaches are supposed to be worn on your feet,
on
not
your
your
feet,
face."
next face. Dumb.
that's exactly where.
I know, Noah's
That's exactly the opposite.
mustache.
So passive aggressive. Just
Yeah.
stupid. And then the last thing was the book.
We don't even know if that's the last thing. They just kind of. He
That's
kind
true,
of.
but-
There might have been more jabs in there.
More things in that little box, you
Maybe.
think?
Yeah.
Well,
Could have been.
the main thing was that emotional intelligence
Emotional,
book.
intelligent book.
On emotional intelligence.
Without asking any information, he just immediately goes into the fact that, listen, young Noah, you are lacking in was it 3 of the 4 things, 2 of the 3 things, 3 of the 4
Three.
of
He's
the
missing
4.
3 of the 4.
3 of the 4
Yeah.
things. And I just want to tell you this so that I can build you. I'm here to help you, yada, yada.
I was once
young
like
like you.
you.
Yeah, I didn't have this either. It's not something you're born with, okay? You have to grow and you have to develop it. I hate him. He's the worst. And then Tayshia comes in, huh? Yeah.
She's very frustrated. Thinks
Yeah.
it's childish.
and it ends on like right when she says like,
What's in the box?
so what's in the box? I was like, I want to know what her opinion is on what's in the
me
box.
too. Yeah,
I know.
so
Who do
definitely.
you think goes home?
Oh, Bennett.
Oh, you
so.
think?
That's what I said. Yeah.
I say Noah.
You think?
Only because in the preview for next week, she says something along the lines of like,
I made the wrong decision.
I made the wrong decision, in which I feel like if you send Noah home under the pressure of like Bennett saying you should send Noah home, then you're going to regret it. But if she sends Bennett home, it's just like, yeah, go.
But I feel like
Bye-bye.
when she sees the box, she's gonna be like, "Okay, Bennett, go."
That's a good point. I don't know why she would regret the Bennett choice.
She would never regret
Unless
sending
Noah
Bennett home.
like acts out or like
yeah.
goes crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
only thing Noah needs to do is just not talk.
Yeah, just shut your mouth,
And
Noah.
then
Stay in there for a little
he'll-
while.
then he'll
let
be
it,
fine.
Let it fade out and then start fresh. Yeah.
That's just his problem. He's taking the jabs, but he's actually trying to fight back, which is not
Yeah.
really a good choice.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll find out next episode what her reaction was, who she kicked
Who she
off,
sends home.
who she sends home, and
Sends them both home, maybe.
I guess does that wrap it up for this episode?
That's a good point. Maybe she sends both of them.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Because then when she says, "I might have made a bad," okay, never mind. I'm getting too far ahead of myself.
So that wraps up this episode of This Is Not a Day podcast recap week 8. Catch us next week.
And don't forget to check us out on our website, which is thisisnotadate.podcast.com, and get yourself some sexy merch.
And you can listen on Apple Podcasts and all other platforms.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.